Hey, what's going on, everybody? And welcome back to another episode of the It's All Mental podcast, where there is something for everybody. I'm so excited to be back. As you guys can probably tell in my voice just a little bit, I have been under the weather and I have been battling a cold that I can't seem to get rid of. I have been battling this cold for going on 3 weeks now. So if my voice is a little little nasally, a little crackly, goes in and out, a little hoarse, please, my apologies, but I just had to get back at it. I am not 100%, but I miss sitting down and just really having these thought-provoking and deep discussions. So I have to get back on the podcast. It is time to get back to work. I have rested up. I have taken a break that I really didn't want to take, but I had to listen to my body and I had to rest and recover and get my mind back together so that I could come back stronger for you guys. So as you guys can tell from the title, today we're going to be talking about forgiveness. Now, I will say this before we dive into this topic. There's so many different avenues you can take when it comes to forgiveness. Forgiveness is such a broad topic of discussion. So we're gonna get pretty deep into this, and we're gonna go all those different avenues. We're gonna take it down different lanes. But before I begin, I do have to say this topic. Just want to share this with you guys. This was not my original topic for this episode of podcast. Now, I did say that forgiveness was definitely going to be on the list because forgiveness is something that I personally struggle with. And when I say I struggle with forgiveness, I will say that I forgive somebody and I will try my hardest to forgive somebody, but I just can't seem to let go of the thing that they've done. And I can move along with you and pretend like everything is normal and fine, but deep inside, that thing is still bothering me. I may have pushed it down a little bit and tried to suppress it, but it's still there because I really haven't forgiven you like I said I have. So forgiveness and letting go is something that I personally struggle with. We're all human. So we all have our different struggles. We're all going to struggle in different avenues. We're all going to struggle with different things. We have our strengths, we have our weaknesses, we have things that we can improve on. There's always going to be room for improvement. But that is one of my things that I struggle with. And I beat myself up a lot about this because I feel like I'm not human. I make mistakes. And oh my gosh. Take your time, Nikki. Take your time. I'm getting emotional because, like I said, this is something that I'm struggling with right now as recent. But like I said, this is one of my weaknesses, and I beat myself up a lot about this because I feel that if God can love me and forgive me despite all the wrong that I've done, despite the sins that I commit, then why is it so hard for me to forgive and to let go? Because I let God down. I disappoint him, and I know I don't do everything the right way and the way that I'm supposed to do it. But why is it so hard for me to just forgive? Y'all, this is one of the reasons why I created this podcast, because this is therapeutic for me. And I hope that it's therapy for someone else as well that's out there watching and listening. This is therapy for me, being able to talk and to vent and to really just be open and vulnerable and show my heart to you all. Because it's so crazy. We live in a world where strangers will support you and uplift you and encourage you more than the people that are closest to you. A lot of times that's the case, but I'm thankful to have people in my life, in my corner, that do uplift me and support me. But you guys, people that I don't even know, haven't even met, your comments, you support and you uplift me, and you guys don't understand how much it means to me. It truly touches me and it moves me in a way that is just so indescribable. I can't even describe how moved I am by how much you guys support me. But let's stay on task here because the waterworks coming again. But yeah, this is something that I struggle with. And like I said, this was not gonna be the original topic, but I felt like this needed to be the topic because it's been on my heart, it's been on my spirit, and forgiveness, just been forgiveness, because I had planned another topic, but forgiveness was just on my mind. I actually wanted to really talk about my spiritual walk and my journey on my walk with God, but this definitely is a part of my walk. You know, it's so crazy how things in life are just happening. There full circle moments, and they make you realize, like, wow, like, girl, that ties into that, and that relates to that. But forgiveness has been on my heart because it's something that I've been battling with recently. Like I said, it's one of my weaknesses that I'm really working on, and I'm really trying to be better at letting go, be better at being more forgiving. Now, I know that we are supposed to forgive. The word tells us to forgive, but we are also cautioned not to be foolish either. So we always have to be mindful of things that we do in forgiveness, because you can surely forgive someone, but that does not mean you have to forget what they've done. You're not supposed to hold it over their head, not supposed to use it as leverage or throw it back in people's faces, but you shouldn't forget either. Because a lot of times people think that you forgive and you don't have to move on from this person, but we're gonna dive into all of that. We're gonna get into all of that. This is gonna be a good one today, and I'm excited. So let's go ahead and start and jump right in. I want to start with, what is forgiveness? What is forgiveness? What forgiveness means to me? I'm writing this episode solo today. As you guys can tell, it's just me on the couch today. It's just me on the couch today. But this is still going to be a good one. And I pray that this episode is a blessing to somebody. So let's start off first with, what is forgiveness? And as always, please chime in the comments. Let me know what you guys' take on this topic is. And if there's something that touched you that I say, or there's something you want to share with community of other people, please share it down in the comments down below, and also include any topics that you want me to touch on and have my friends and peers and other people that come on to talk about. So leave that in the comments. So let's start off first. What is forgiveness? What is forgiveness? To me, forgiveness is letting go of the thing that someone did to cause any pain or harm. Forgiveness for me means letting go. It means to release. When I look at forgiveness as a release, letting go, so that you are able to be at peace. Letting go and releasing so that you're able to be at peace. Excuse me, y'all. Like I said, I'm trying to get over this cold, but letting go so that you are able to be at peace and you are able to live a life of peace. That is what forgiveness is to me. Why is it important to forgive? I feel that it's important to forgive because when you don't forgive, like I said, that thing is going to fester in your mind, and you're not going to be at peace. You're not truly going to be settled, or you're not going to have a feeling of ease and peace because you are holding on to something that someone did. So it's very important to forgive, because forgiveness is not only important for your spirit, it's important for your mind, your mental health, your physical. A lot of times we don't think that, oh, I don't have to forgive that person, I'm gonna be fine. You holding on to this anger, and the next thing you know, you stressing yourself out. It starts to affect you physically, it starts to affect you mentally, peace, um spiritually. You don't have no peace, you're not happy, you're irritable, and you figure out why things just aren't going right, and why you just so miserable, and why you can't seem to just settle and relax and just be. And that's because you're holding on to something that someone did, someone said, or whatever the case may be, and you haven't truly allowed yourself to let it go and truly allowed yourself to release that. It's like a burden. It's really like a burden that you are carrying on your back. We already have enough things that happen in life. Like I always say, life be life, and life really be life. And so why add on any unnecessary stress when you can just release it and let it go? Again, coming back to me, that's something that I struggle with. And it's something that triggers my anxiety a lot. So it's like I'm preaching to myself. Not only am I speaking to you all out here, but I'm also speaking to myself. Like I said, these podcasts are like, this is therapy for me. So not only am I talking to everyone out here in the world, but I'm speaking to me too. I'm speaking to my spirit. I'm ministering to myself as well. So it's important to forgive, because you don't want to carry around that burden. You don't want to be walking around with this unnecessary stress because of what this person did. So it's very important to forgive, so that you can have that peace, so that you can be well, so that you don't live in unhappiness. You should live a life of joy, a life of joy, a life of happiness, a life of peace, a life of stillness. Not to say that you aren't going to have bad days, not to say that things aren't going to happen, but like I said, life be life. And so there's no need to add any unnecessary stress. And that's something that I myself have to practice and learn how to do. Because I can't stress enough how that's one of my weaknesses, and it's something that I work on. And it's for me need to work on. And for me, I am the type of person that if you hurt me or you do something to hurt me, I am very quick to say, "Oh, I forgive you. You apologize. You know what? I forgive you. I forgive you. It's cool. It's good. I'm telling you that I forgive you, and I'm telling you that it's cool and that we're good and everything is fine. But when I go home, I'm going home with that burden. I'm going to sleep with that burden. I'm waking up with that burden. I'm going to work with that burden. I'm hanging with friends with that. I'm keeping it. I'm hanging on to it, and I don't let it go. But when I see you, I'm going to act like everything is okay, because in my mind, I'm supposed to forgive you. Like, I'm supposed to forgive you. So I can't bring this up and rehash it. It's like, we've talked about it. You've apologized. So let's move on from it. But the guilt part comes in, is because it's like, okay, we've talked about it. You've apologized. So why can't I move on? And through some really deep self-evaluation, and actually speaking with someone that whose opinion I value a lot, and she has been like a spiritual sister to me, I have learned that I don't extend people grace. And I don't extend, not only do I not extend people grace, I don't extend myself grace. But I hold myself to a higher standard than I do other people. That's why I'm so hard on myself. And I always say, I am my biggest critic. I am super hard on myself. I judge myself to the core. So because I have a standard for myself, and every time I fall short of the standard and the expectation that I've set for myself, I judge myself. I condemn me. I crucify me, which is not, it's not healthy at all, which is something that, along with me working on forgiving others, learning how to forgive myself, and learning how to extend other people grace and extend myself grace. So, with that being said, it's like I have to learn to, you know what, okay, I've talked to this person. We've talked about the situation. They've apologized. If I had a wrong part, I'm going to apologize. And then I'm going to work on letting it go. I may not be able to walk away from that conversation and just boom, it be gone immediately, but I'm learning how to not hang on to the burdens. I'm learning how to not let that follow me in my everyday walk of life. I'm learning to release and give it to God. And the moment that I pray and I actually release and I give it to God, I feel a sense of peace and a sense of comfort just fall over me. And it makes me feel really good. If it makes me feel really good, it really does. Not to say that that person is not going to do anything else to hurt me. Not to say that the person is going to do anything else to not harm me. But in that moment, it's like, okay, get over this. But here's another point that I would like to throw in there as well. When I have a falling out or I have a disagreement with this person and they apologize, we get past that, something else happens. A lot of times, and I know that there are people out there can relate to this, when you have another little ruffle of feathers, that thing that happened the first time tends to come back. And then it's like, okay, now I'm double mad at you because you did this before and now we got over that. We got past it. I finally moved past it. I was finally able to get on along and keep trucking. And then now you do this and this thing comes off. So now, like, you're double upset, you're double angry, you're double mad because you're forgiving them for one thing, another thing happens, and then now you gotta start this forgiveness process all over again. So, like I said, that is something that I am working on. It's one of my weaknesses, but I'm working on it. So it's definitely important. Like I said, it's very important to forgive people because it's for your peace of mind, it's for your physical health, it's for your mental health, your spiritual health. You want to feel that peace. You don't want to walk around with unnecessary burdens. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it in the long haul. You don't want to live with all of that over your head. So, what is forgiveness? Why forgiveness is important? Not only do you have to forgive others, it's important to forgive self as well. It's important to forgive yourself as well. I know I touched on that a little bit, but it is important to forgive yourself. I just told you guys about my personal thing with how I have trouble with not only forgiving other people but forgiving myself as well. Extending grace. I have trouble with extending grace because I hold myself to a standard. I have an expectation for myself, and when I don't meet that expectation or that standard and I fall short, I immediately start judging myself. I immediately get mad at myself, and I just become just full of guilt of not measuring up. And I understand and I know that I'm human. I can't be the only one that is like this. I'm sure I'm not. But I know that I'm human. I have a full blown understanding of what it means to be a human and how God did not create us to be perfect. He created us to make mistakes. But as long as you strive for better and you are trying to to get better and you're trying to improve daily, I feel like that is really putting your best foot forward, doing the best that you can. But oftentimes I feel like I should be better. I should be doing better. I shouldn't fall down as much. Like I shouldn't be disappointing myself. Even at the age of 31, I still have moments where I look back and I look over my life and I feel like, okay, why did it take me so long to really figure out what my purpose is and my passion? Why did it take me so long to really start honing into what I'm doing? Like, am I going to miss the mark? Am I going to miss my purpose? Am I going to miss the train of getting to the success in something that I'm truly passionate and happy about? So oftentimes I'm constantly critiquing different areas of my life, and I'm setting expectations here and expectations there, and da, 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 da. And one thing someone pointed out as well is that not only do I set expectations for myself, but I set expectations for people as well, which is another reason why I said it's hard for me to extend grace a lot of times. And that's something that I am not afraid to admit, but also I hold myself to a higher standard and I judge myself more harshly than I do other people. So it's not good either way. It's not good, I know. It's not good either way, but it's something that I'm truly trying to work on. It's something that I feel like I struggle with. I am not there. I am not where I need to be with forgiveness. I am not where I need to be with extending grace. I'm not where I need to be with letting go, or at least where I want to be, where I want and need to be. Because, like I said in the beginning, this was not going to be my original topic, but it's been on my heart. It's been on my mind. It's been on my spirit because in my reality, my daily walk as of recently, I have been put in a situation where I am trying to forgive someone. It's a person that's really close in my life, and it's very hard. It's very hard for me to forgive this person because the action that was done, it really kind of hurt me, but it's taken me a little bit longer to get past than I would like. So I've really been in my spirit hearing forgiveness, forgiveness, forgiveness. It's been an everyday thing for me. Really just, okay, Lord, help me to let this go. Help me to not think about this. Help me to try to be better. Help me to not hold this over this person's head. Help me to move on. Even if things aren't the way that they used to be, just allow me peace. Allow me that moment to just just move on from it. Just allow me the strength to move on from it and not to keep coming back to it and honing over it. So that's one of the reasons, the main reason really why I wanted to touch on forgiveness today, because it's something that I'm dealing with in my life. And I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people out here who are dealing, because like I said, we are human. We make mistakes. We're not perfect. God didn't create us to be perfect. He didn't create us to not make mistakes. He even told us in his word, we're going to have some days of trouble. So no day is going to be perfect. No day is going to be sunshine, rainbows all the time. There's going to be some rain. It's going to be some tough times in life. But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't give grace. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't allow people the chance to right their wrongs and to truly, truly, truly show how remorseful they are for what they've done. So it's important to extend grace because God extends grace to us every day. Grace and mercy is what wakes us up in the morning. This is what starts us on our day. It's what's keeping us. It's what's holding us up. It's what's holding us together. So we should definitely extend grace not only to ourselves, but to other people as well. So that's something that, like I said, I've been working on, and it's something that I wish I had more strength in. And with through prayer and through really life's tests and life trials and through the relationships that I form with people, it helps me more and more to improve on forgiveness and improve on letting go and just releasing all that I like to sometimes just keep inside because it festers and it's not good. And it's really not good for me because of my anxiety. And it's my anxiety gets triggered by a variety of things. And stress is one of them. And holding on to things is a stressor. It's a burden. It's something that you carry. So it can definitely affect your mental health. So you always want to make sure that you're just, working to let things go and extending grace to other people and not not allowing yourself to allow these things to fester. Another point I would like to touch on is what happens when you don't forgive. What happens when you don't forgive? So what happens when you don't forgive? You decide that you're going to be mad, you're not going to forgive, you're going to just allow this thing that this person has done to take over, whether they apologize or they didn't apologize. You're gonna hold on to it. You're gonna be angry. I want to be angry. I want to be mad. I don't care. They hurt me. They did this, that, and the third. And you get to the point, even revenge. You talking revenge. You like, I don't care. Like, I want my get back. I want my get back. You did this, you hurt me, you did this, and I'm mad. I want to be mad about it, and I have a right to feel my feelings, and I have a right to. Let's start first here. It is perfectly, and I am a firm believer, and I will stand on this and stand behind it. It is important when someone hurts you, you go through a process. Depending on the level of hurt, you may be able to get over it a little bit easier than you would something else that they could have done to you. But getting over something when someone hurts you is a process. It's not an overnight thing. It's going to take time. So you're going to go through a wide range of emotions and feelings, and it's like a roller coaster. It's going to take you on a ride. But the most important thing is to not let those feelings take you to a negative place. It's okay to be angry. It's okay to be upset, but don't let that anger drive you to revenge. Don't let that anger turn into vengeance. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to cry, but don't let those tears drive you to commit a crime or to, just do something that you can't take back or do something that could affect your life. So when people do things to you and hurt you, it's a human natural response to be upset, to be angry, to cry. Unless you just built like a robot and nothing bothered you and you are unfazed and unbothered. A lot of times people say the older you get, the more things don't really bother you. I'm starting to experience that just a smidget, just a little bit. The older I get, the more I'm kind of like, eh. I used to really be the type of person that I wanted to fix everything and I wanted to be a fixer. And if something fell apart, it's like, I gotta fix this relationship. I gotta fix this. Like, I don't care what I got to do. Even if I got to apologize first, even if I got to apologize, I didn't do anything wrong. I have to fix it. So the older I get, the more I'm kind of like, you know what? This has happened one too many times, and I feel like this is God's way of telling me that you don't need to be in my life, and it's time for you to go. God is just weeding out the bad, just weeding out the bad weed. So it's time to go. It's time for you to get up out of my life. So in a way, that is true. With age, you do kind of get a little bit more of like, you know what? I'm too old for this. I don't have time. I don't have time. It's a slower process for some than others. I'm one of those people where it's like it's a slower process. My patience definitely has gotten a little for nonsense and foolishness. I'm kind of like on the track of not with it. But if you're someone that of importance to me, you mean a lot. I tend to work a bit harder for you. But it is true that with age, you kind of get to that point and you're like, okay, I don't have time for those games. Like when I was in my 20s, yeah, I did but no, not no more. Like people, you gotta hear people say that as they get older with age, is wisdom and all that. But like I said, that ain't the case for everybody. But anyways, y'all, I'm going on a rampage here. But yeah, so you kind of get to a point where you're you don't want to tolerate stuff as you get older. You don't really want to tolerate as much. But still, you still have to feel your feelings. You still have to go in that process. You still have to go through those range of emotions. And that's okay. It is perfectly fine to do so, to do that. Well, like I said, let's make sure we're keeping it on a positive path though. Don't let it lead to somewhere negative. We don't want that to happen. But feel your feelings is very important. Your feelings are valid. You should always feel your feelings. With that being said, just because you forgive someone, that doesn't take away that that pinching, that stinging of pain. It doesn't take it away. It doesn't take it away. It helps you to release the burden. It helps you to make that easier, and forgiveness starts that healing process. It starts the process of truly healing. Just because you've forgiven doesn't mean you're completely healed or you're completely over that situation, but you decided to forgive that person because you want to continue on that healing process, and you want to be at peace, and you want to live a happy life, a life of joy, and you don't want to hold on to that. You don't want that burden. So when you don't forgive someone, I know a lot of us have heard the saying, when you don't forgive people, it takes power over you. It means that they still have power over you. They still have that control because you're allowing this person to control your emotions and control your feelings and your moods. And it's really a true statement. As much as we've heard it, as much as we've heard it in like the movies, and we've heard people say it, and we giving advice like forgiveness is first takes like we've heard it so much, but that statement couldn't be more truer because you are and you're initially allowing this person to have power over you because you're not forgiving them. You have made the stance to say, you know what, this person did this, and that for me, and I am not going to forgive them. I'm going to choose to be angry. I'm going to choose to be hurt. I'm going to choose to wallow in this. I'm going to choose to. We don't like to be hurt. We don't like pain. Who likes pain? Who likes to be hurt? Who wants to feel hurt? But it makes it 10 times worse when you choose hurt and you choose pain. It's already bad enough that you're feeling hurt from someone that you potentially cared about, had a close relationship with, and you never thought this person would hurt you, or they hurt you in a way that you never thought that they could. We don't like to be hurt. We don't want to choose pain. We don't want that. But when you make the decision to say, I'm not going to forgive you, I'm not going to let this go, you are choosing hurt. You are choosing misery. You are choosing pain. And because you're choosing these things, this means that this person has such a control over you that they have initially they've initially have that power to change your mood and to change how you feel. We all want to be happy. In a perfect world, happiness would be consistent, but we don't live a life of consistent happiness and consistent joy. We're gonna go through things. We go through things in life, but in spite of the things that we go through, we tend to find joy. We want to find the joy. We want to find the good, even in the bad situations. And that's really where faith comes in as well. Like, even when things aren't looking right, things aren't looking too great, they aren't looking up, and you're praying and wanting this to happen and that to happen, and it hasn't happened, but you're still praying, you're still hoping, you're still believing that it's going to happen. That's where our faith really comes in. And faith has, if you have enough faith, you have the power to get through any and everything that comes in your life. So don't choose hurt. Don't choose pain. Don't choose unforgiveness. Don't choose unhappiness. We don't want to be hurt. We don't want to feel pain. We don't want to feel any of those negative things. But when we choose unforgiveness, we choose those things for our lives. And like I said, this is not only for someone out there, this is also for me. This is therapeutic for me. It's therapy for me because I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm still growing. I don't have all the answers. I don't have this thing called life all figured out. I don't. But every day I make the choice and I make the decisions to put my best foot forward. I make the choice to make it another day, to really find joy even in the bad situations. I don't choose joy every single time. Sometimes I'm just like, okay, I want to feel my feelings today too. And tomorrow I'll be better. I promise I'll be better tomorrow. But today, I want to feel this today. Tomorrow I'll be all right. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with feeling your feelings, and your feelings are validated. When someone hurts you or when you're going through a hard time in life, you need to feel those feelings. It's important to feel those things. It is very important to feel your feelings. Your feelings are validated. They really are. But just make sure that, including myself, we just got to make sure that even in the bad times, we still choose joy. We choose forgiveness. And it's something that we're working on, we're striving towards every single day. So I thank you guys so much for watching this video, taking your time out to really sit and listen to me. And I hope that this video inspires someone and it blesses someone. And again, if there are any topics that you really want me to cover and to touch on, make sure you leave them down below in the comments and tell me what forgiveness means to you. And is forgiveness one of your strengths? Is one of your weaknesses? Is something that you have trouble with, something that you struggle with? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn your post notifications on, and I'll see you guys next week for another episode of the It's All Mental podcast. Bye.